hit me. I didn't see that. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to My Pen is Purpose. That was a doll, just in case you were wondering. I don't want nobody calling CPS on me or nothing like that. By the way, why would someone call the electric company if I'm abusing my kids? Makes no sense. CPS, get it? The Child Protective Electric. Never mind. It has recently come to my attention that I'm not a perfect dad. You guys know this. I've told you this before. But come to think about it, who is the perfect parent? If you're a perfect parent and you're out there, please leave me a comment because I would really love to meet you. In my opinion, there's only one perfect parent, and he sits on the throne in heaven. But we do have some great parents out there. Many of you watch my little insignificant video blog. You're probably thinking to yourself, he's talking about me. He's talking about me. No, definitely not you. I'm just kidding. The fact of the matter is that in your parent lifetime, which is pretty much your whole life if you're a parent, I guess, you never really stop parenting. We are going to experience many parent fails. Boy, if I've had some big ones. I think for most of us as parents, our prayer is, oh please Lord, don't let me mess my child up. Yes, as a parent, you're gonna have mess ups. But don't worry, you're not gonna mess them up. I mean, I guess you could mess them up, to be honest. But you gotta be doing some really dumb stuff. Like those crazy parents that chained those 13 kids up. Really? If you don't want to mess your kids up, I'll just give you some practical advice. One of the most important things you can do with your child is talk to them. I think too many times we end up talking at them and not with them. Telling them what to do, what to say, what to wear. I mean, granted, we're training our children, so we have to teach them. But we also have to listen to them. Kids have things to say too. They got problems, they got issues, they got things going on. Those things might be small to us compared to some of the things we're doing. But what seems small to you may be huge to them. Especially if you have teenagers. They go through way more stuff than I ever did when I was in high school. I mean, we had our challenges, but man, things are just totally different nowadays. But you'll never know that if you don't take the time to talk to them. And honestly, it don't take more than 10-15 minutes. That's all I ever recommend because after 15 minutes, they have checked out. So sit down and have significant conversations with your kids. You may end up finding out some new things that you didn't even know. Now, I have said this before about your spouse, but it also pertains to your kids. Quality time. My son, he likes to play video games. I used to too back in the day, but not as much anymore. But just hanging out for 20 minutes and playing some Star Wars Battlefront, to him it means the world. The other day, I caught myself cuddled up in bed with my daughter watching Mako Mermaids on Netflix. What? Mako Mermaids? I mean, come on, really? I mean, who really cares if Evie just became a mermaid and she's having a difficult time trying to deal with it? And the other dude, who's a merman, just met his biological sister that he didn't even know he had. It was a cool show. You see, in the life of a child, a few minutes spent feels more like hours. Quality time spent is a lifetime of love earned. That was deep. I gotta remember to write that down. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about, but to be honest, to me, it's the most important. I feel like you gotta take your kids to church. Now, I understand that there are some parents out there who feel that it is wrong to force faith on a child. Not this parent. The same could be said about taking your child to school. Aren't you forcing education on them? I didn't tell my kids to love God. They chose to. In fact, at the age of 9, my son chose to be baptized. He came to me one day and said, "Dad, I feel the Holy Spirit is telling me it's time." My now 7-year-old daughter taught me a valuable lesson about the Holy Spirit at the age of 4. You see, one day I got really upset with her for something really insignificant that she did. I mean, I was hooting and hollering to the point that I scared her and I made her cry. Talk about a parent fail. I was just upset for a while longer, and you could visibly see it in my face. But as I was walking down the street with her holding her hand, I looked down at her thinking that I was still going to see her crying. Instead, she was looking up at me with an incredible smile on her face and unconditional love in her eyes. You see, there are times in life, especially through difficult situations, when we might get upset with God. We are angry, we're hooting and hollering and saying, "Why did you allow this to happen to me?" And yet all the while, the Holy Spirit is looking down at us with unconditional love in his eyes, still holding our hands. I looked down at my daughter that day. I picked her up And I told her Daddy is sorry. And she told me something that God himself has told me many times. It's not okay, but I forgive you. Those life lessons that my kids have taught me have come from the influence of being in church. That's all the time we have today for My Pen is Purpose. As always, I want to thank you for joining us. I pray you were blessed by today's video, and if you like it, please share it. And don't forget to like our Facebook page if you haven't already. Be on the lookout for an all-new My Pen is Purpose coming soon. In the meantime, thank y'all for watching, and God bless you.